Good morning again, brothers and sisters. If God really wants us all to be saved, why is it not enough to simply consider every person who says, "Yes, Lord, I'm accepting your invitation," to be a done deal for one's salvation? It's not enough to simply say, "Yes, Lord." The gospel reading is simply put, God's invitation needs our personal response. God recognizes our freedom, and He expects that we do our part. The first reading speaks of a great banquet reserved for those who have been invited, and also it speaks of those who will appropriately respond. In fact, this is the message of the gospel today. The gospel reading speaks of the king's choice to accept and to refuse those who accepted the invitation. Through our own baptism, we have accepted God's invitation to join Him in His banquet. Humbly acknowledging God's gracious invitation for us, I'd like all of us to always remember and remind ourselves constantly, according to the words of Paul, so that we know where we stand in this place of God's great plan of salvation, when we will be seated on the table as we join ourselves in this great feast of salvation. And here are the words of Paul. "But if some of the branches were broken off, and you, a wild olive shoot, were grafted in their place to share the richness of the olive tree, do not boast over the branches. If you do boast, remember, it is not you that support the root, but the root that supports you. You will say, 'Branches were broken off so that I might be grafted in.'" As the Lord of hosts expects us to properly dress ourselves for the occasion, let us clothe ourselves with compassion, with kindness, lowliness, meekness, and patience.